Happy Sunday. Welcome into today's Daily Sports Take. If you've missed any of my other previous videos, I'd love it if you go back, give them a watch, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. I know I'm asking a lot, but it really means more than you would know. So we have the NFL Draft coming up this Thursday, April 23rd. I'm super excited. We're finally getting some sports back, at least sports coverage back with the NFL Draft. So I've already released my mock drafts version 1.0 and 2.0. If you missed those videos, be sure to go back and give them a watch as well. So today I want to talk about trades, and most importantly, 3 trades that I could see happening in the draft this year. Now, trades in the first round are some of the most exciting parts of watching the NFL Draft. It's just seeing the movement, seeing what players are dealt, seeing what teams are being aggressive, what teams are trying to stockpile other assets. It's really intriguing. So I want to list 3 trades with just draft picks that I think could happen on draft night. So let's start with the first one. I think the Los Angeles Chargers could trade up to the number 3 overall pick, and the Detroit Lions would then get the number 6 overall pick, the Chargers' second rounder, and a second rounder in 2021. Now this pick makes a lot of sense. This trade makes a lot of sense for both teams. So for the Chargers, they can now choose their quarterback of the future, whether they think Tua Tagovailoa is the guy or Justin Herbert, because we realize that the Bengals are likely to select Joe Burrow and the Redskins are likely to select Chase Young. So at the number 3 spot, you get your choice of franchise quarterback, Tua or Herbert. So it doesn't matter which quarterback the Chargers think is the man for the future for them. They can select him. My gut tells me they would take Tua in that situation, but we just have to wait and see how that works out. And then for the Detroit Lions, whoever they were going to pick at number 3, whether it was Isaiah Simmons, Jeff Okudah, Tristan Wirfs, they would likely still be there at number 6. So you get 2 other assets plus the exact same player you're going to draft. It's a win-win situation there for the Detroit Lions. Now moving to my next trade, I have the Denver Broncos moving up to number 9 in exchange for the 15th, a second rounder this year, and a second rounder in 2021 with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So for the Denver Broncos, trading up makes a lot of sense. Last year, John Elway hit it out of the park when he drafted Drew Lock in the second round. Drew Lock went 4-1 in his 5 starts down the stretch of last season. So he looks to be the future franchise quarterback for the Denver Broncos. So by trading up to the number 9 pick, they ensure they land one of the top 3 receivers in this draft class, whether it's Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, or Henry Ruggs. So if you want the all-around, you want the explosiveness of CeeDee, or you want the speed of Henry Ruggs, you'll have your pick of the litter so that you can pair them with Drew Lock and then, of course, wide receiver Courtland Sutton. So you have that 1-2 punch with one of those top 3 in Courtland Sutton for Drew Lock to throw to. It makes a lot of sense for the Denver Broncos to put a lot of their eggs in one basket there in order to help Drew Lock succeed. And for the Jacksonville Jaguars, this trade also makes a lot of sense. First off, you acquire 2 additional assets in the second round this year and the second round next year, which for a team in a total rebuild makes a lot of sense. They also now, with the 15th overall pick, can still select the second best or maybe even the best defensive tackle in this draft class, Javon Kinlaw, who's likely to be sitting there. So I think this deal makes a ton of sense for the Jacksonville Jaguars. If for some reason Kinlaw gets picks before then, they can either trade back again or they can draft an offensive tackle or maybe even a wide receiver if somehow one of those guys still fell to number 15. So I think this deal is a win-win for both teams. Now moving to my final trade here that I have on the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. I think the San Francisco 49ers will trade the number 31 overall pick to the New York Jets for a second and a 4th rounder. Now for the San Francisco 49ers, there's many reasons why they should trade back. First, they have 2 first-round picks. They also have the 13th overall pick in a deal where they sent DeForest Buckner to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, they also don't have any picks from the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round. So for a team that was in the Super Bowl last year, it's tough to find other players that can help add depth to the roster without having picks in those middle rounds, especially when you seem to be an organization that drafts well in those middle rounds. You got to want to find a way to get those draft picks. So I think at the number 31 overall pick, unless there is a player that they think is an absolute steal with that 31st overall pick, there is no reason to select there, so trading back makes a lot of sense. Now for the New York Jets, trading back into the first round also makes sense. Depending on what they do with their first pick with the number 12 overall pick in the draft class, they could select either a wide receiver or a cornerback or a safety if Xavier McKinney or Grant Delpit is there, or an offensive tackle if someone like Ezra Cleveland stands out to them. So whatever they do with the first part of the first round, I think they can do even better with the number 31 overall pick to fill any hole they need. At wide receiver, T. Higgins, Jalen Reagor come to mind. At cornerback, maybe Jeff Gladney or Diggs would be there as well, Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. So it makes a lot of sense for the Jets to trade back in. Remember, this AFC East is now wide open since the Patriots lost Tom Brady and only have Jarrett Stidham at quarterback. The Buffalo Bills could be a playoff team, but we don't know yet, and the Miami Dolphins are getting better, so the Jets have to find a way to compete. So I think adding an extra first-round talent to the roster makes a lot of sense for the New York Jets. So there you have it. There's some trades I have going down on night number 1, Thursday, April 23rd of the 2020 NFL Draft. Let me know what you think down below in the comments section. As always, I'd really love it if you leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. So with that, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.